Basically, my art is very much influenced by the things that I see around me, whether it's kind of just traveling from my house to studio or from studio back home. You know, every time I see something new or something refreshing that happens along the way, I think my mind just picks it up and eventually finds its way into my art. And also, a lot of the time I feel that my work stems from conversation with my friends. That's one of the part that's really, really important to me as an artist, because I feel that alone, your perspective on things is always very subjective and limited. But whereas when you amass the power of be it your friends, your family, or things around you, you always gain new insight into things a lot quicker. And stylistically, I think I've always been very much influenced by things on the street, whether it's a piece of advertisement, a poster, you know, even old paintings you see in those R-rated cinemas. That's something that I'm always interested in as an artist. I feel that art is not just something that is dead serious to me. It involves more than just seriousness. It could be humor, it could be a bit of fun, and once you throw in things like that to the mix, it reflects more on life. My experience with my fellow artists that I work with in my college, I feel that what really struck me, the difference, was that, you know, whereas in Singapore my training was really based on what did people like. In a sense, whenever you made a piece of art, you get overly considerate about, is it okay? Is it likable? You know, is it going to be a problem when you show this to someone else? But whereas in UK, I think a lot of the training focuses on what do you actually want to do? What kind of works do you want to make that screams your personality, I suppose, you know? So this is when that conflict actually came in for the first couple of years when I was working there, because I couldn't overcome the fact that I was making something that only I understood and you know, just hoping that people might like it somehow. And because of that, I felt that they were living their life, or rather they were living art as life. And I feel that this is probably what Singaporeans should really learn from them as well. You know, how do we then not just think about a singular way to so-called reach success, but rather find ways that might work for you. Survive in Singapore as an artist is not as tough as most people think. You know, our culture is such that when you do something that's slightly alternative or something that's slightly not of the norm, you get criticized quite easily. But I feel that in order to be an artist, as I said earlier, you need to have a freedom of choice, and this is extremely important in anyone who wants to come and try to make art for a living or as a full-time job. You know, in fact, it's so necessary for them to almost kind of close their ears sometimes to what people are telling them. You know, and I feel that we always tend to try to make the smart choice, but never really quite the right choice. You know, they're quite different. Making the smart choice means thinking about, ooh, am I going to make myself earn enough to buy myself a house in the next 5 years? You know, am I going to get my car, and so on and so forth. But whereas making the right choice is really believing in something, you know, and this belief in something sometimes doesn't need any justifying. So I feel that if you really want to come and be an artist, you need to just go through with it, just really dive in and do it. I think to end off, I hope that eventually the art community in Singapore will keep on growing and also come together as one really strong and cohesive unit, you know, where the painters will not discriminate the sculptors, and the sculptors will not know where the installation artists are hiding, and the video people are hiding somewhere as well, I suppose. You know, we should come together to grow this culture so that if we ourselves are unable to do that, how do we expect the public to come and take us seriously? So first of all, that's my wish for the next few years of development in Singapore. And also secondly, for people who want to come in to make art, don't feel discouraged by what people tell you, because there are a lot of great people in Singapore, a lot of great artists also, who might be willing to help you out and give you a hand along the way. I, for instance, have found amazing people to share studio with since coming back to Singapore. So hopefully we will see something really interesting happening in the next couple of years.